Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, you bloody cheeky so-and-so, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now this story comes from Aggressive Test 9184 and it says, "Am I the arsehole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after she publicly humiliated my son? A few months ago, my sister, let's call her Jane, got engaged and started planning her wedding. Jane is 37 years old. Growing up, we were always close, sharing secrets and supporting each other through life's ups and downs. However, Jane has always had a tendency to be backhanded and passive-aggressive. She would make snide remarks under the guise of concern and often find subtle ways to belittle me or others. Despite this, I, 34 female, always tried to maintain a good relationship with her, believing that deep down, she cared for me. This all came to a head during a recent family gathering at Jane's house. My son, Liam, who is 7 years old, has a bladder issue that sometimes causes him to have accidents. We've been working with doctors and trying our best to manage it, but it's a sensitive topic for him. During the gathering, Liam had an accident. He was embarrassed and I was in the process of helping him clean up when Jane noticed. Instead of being understanding or discreet, Jane loudly pointed it out in front of everyone. She said things like, "How disgusting, and at his age, this is unacceptable." She even went as far as to say that Liam should be ashamed of himself and criticize me for not getting him under control. Her comments made Liam burst into tears and I quickly took him home to comfort him. As I was gathering our things to leave, Jane came over, still clearly upset. She asked me why I was leaving. I looked at her, trying to keep my voice calm for Liam's sake. "Jane, I think it's best if we go home. Liam is very upset right now." Jane rolled her eyes at me. "Come on, it's just an accident. He needs to learn how to handle these things better. You can't just coddle him forever." My patience was wearing thin, but I tried to explain again. "Jane, Liam has a medical condition. We're working with doctors and it's a sensitive issue for him. Your comments just now were really hurtful." She said, "I was just telling the truth. He needs to toughen up. You're not doing him any favors by babying him." At this point, I was furious, but I didn't want to escalate the situation in front of Liam. I took a deep breath and said, "We'll talk about this later, Jane. Right now, I need to take care of my son." Without waiting for a response, I gathered Liam and headed to the car. On the drive home, I couldn't shake the image of Jane's face and her harsh words. This wasn't the first time she had made Liam feel bad about his condition. Each time I had hoped she would understand and show some empathy, but it seemed like she was only getting worse. The next day, I called Jane to talk about what had happened. This conversation is from what I can remember. I just wanted to explain again, away from the heat of the moment, and hope she would see reason. "Jane, about yesterday. I need you to understand how much your words hurt Liam. He's already struggling and your comments made him feel even worse." Instead of apologizing, Jane was very defensive. "I'm not going to apologize for telling the truth. You need to stop coddling him, and he needs to learn to deal with the real world." Her response was like a punch to the gut. I'd hoped for some empathy, some understanding, but it was clear she wasn't going to give it. "Jane, I don't think you understand how serious this is. He has a medical condition. It's not something he can just toughen up from." She told me, "Look, I have a wedding to plan. I don't have time for this drama." When Jane's wedding invitations went out, I received one, but I felt conflicted. On one hand, she's my sister, and it's a significant event in her life. On the other hand, I couldn't forget how she humiliated my son and her refusal to apologize. After much thought, I decided to decline the invitation. I didn't feel comfortable celebrating with someone who had been so cruel to my child. When Jane found out, she was livid. She accused me of trying to ruin her special day and called me petty and overdramatic. Some family members sided with her, saying I should let it go for the sake of, say it with me folks, family harmony, while others understood my decision and supported me. This wasn't the first time Jane had done something like this. She has a history of making hurtful comments about Liam's condition and generally lacks sensitivity when it comes to his medical issues. Each time I've tried to address it calmly, hoping she would eventually understand and be more considerate. Unfortunately, she never changes, and her behavior continues to hurt my son. Jane has been blowing up my phone, including other family members. Now I'm left questioning if I'm the arsehole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding. I don't want to cause family drama, but I also feel strongly about standing up for my son. This wedding is just the latest incident in a long line of hurtful behavior from Jane, and I'm not sure how much more I can take. So, am I the arsehole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after she publicly humiliated my son? Hope you added an edit after that saying there's an update on my page, which we'll cover in a second. For me, and it's going to be one of those ones, and I'm sure the comments are going to cover it, that you're going to be creeping in or stepping into arsehole territory right now for even having her around your son at this point. She's doing him nothing but damage, especially as she has a past history of this. This isn't about a single incident at a family gathering. It's about an adult, a grown adult woman repeatedly humiliating and bullying a 7-year-old child over a medical condition. The aunt isn't just being insensitive, she's being a complete and utter dickhead. She's actively traumatizing a 7-year-old child. I feel for that kid so much. Already struggling, already embarrassed about it, probably already hugely anxious about it. Then having this grown woman makes me sick, saying how disgusting to a child. Having a medical episode. That's not tough love, it's not telling the truth. It's emotional abuse, simple as that. And of course, we get the classic, let it go for family harmony. No, fuck that shit. She needs to be told. That's a 7-year-old child that's already struggling. Unreal. Absolutely, I'm fuming. The top commenter said not the arsehole, but you're the arsehole if you let her back in. How many times does she have to bully your son for you to get that she's a mean girl who gets off hurting your 7-year-old son? When he cuts you out of his life because mum never had my back. Because mum cares more about her sister's feelings than her own son's. Sometimes doing the right thing is a lonely path, and the people who are backing her up ask them if she bullies their child, would they be okay with that? Opie says I agree. I feel ashamed for letting her get away with things. Nay says, I'm wondering why you let this last incident be the straw that broke the camel's back. She's done it multiple times before, right? Why didn't you stand up for him then? Are you missing the wedding to hurt her because unless you're going no contact, the problem is still going to exist? And why doesn't your son wear pull-ups? Discreetly, of course, to protect him from public embarrassment. I mean, if you don't want to go to the wedding, then that's fine, but don't give your sister another reason to mistreat your son. Opie says, I'm sold on going no contact with her. Even if my son receives an apology, she will not be let back into his life. My son doesn't wear pull-ups because he has asked me to not wear diapers. He doesn't like them, and I'm not going to force him to wear them if he doesn't want to. I'm completely understanding of him not wanting to. Should I still have him wear them? Random Token says, why would other family members be blowing up your phone? This is none of their business. This is between you and your sister. Opie says my sister has a tendency to run her mouth. Of course she does. Opie also says on what bladder condition her son has. Opie says he has OAB, overactive bladder. We potty trained him already. He knows how to go to the bathroom. His condition causes him to suddenly pee. There are times when he doesn't make it to the bathroom. So OP comes in with an update and says, hi all. It's been a few hours since I made my first post. I wanted to say thank you all for the love going to my son Liam. It truly means the world. I wanted to address some things. The reason I bring Liam to these gatherings is because he loves his cousins. He enjoys spending time with family. Liam doesn't like wearing pull-ups or diapers of any form. That is why I haven't necessarily been using them. Now, to further update. I talked to Liam about what happened. I told him that it wasn't his fault at all and that Aunt Jane was being very rude and inconsiderate. I told him that he's an amazing boy and to never let anybody say otherwise. My son was very happy to hear this. He told me that what Jane had said to him hurt his feelings a lot, and I completely understood. I asked him if he wanted to continue to go to these family events. He said no. I fully supported his decision. My son comes first, and the comments have helped me realize that I've let Jane walk all over me with a fear of causing a tear in the family. Now I'm going little to no contact with Jane. I'll send her the occasional holiday message, but that's it. I cannot be around someone who hurts my son. I felt as if I had failed as a mum, and the comments have truly opened my eyes, so thank you all. As for the people in my family who support my sister, I've blocked them all. I refuse to allow people who agree with her mentality to be involved in my son's life. I love my son with all my heart, and I would do anything for that little guy. I think that I should have put a stop to it sooner, and I regret not doing that. However, I know that I can be a better mum, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I messaged the family that was contacting me in a mass group chat, and I told them that we would no longer be coming to any family events. If they wanted to see my son, they would have to come individually, or the event would have to be hosted by me. I told them that my sister's behavior needs to be fixed because that was the reason our family is being torn apart. Not because I'm not going to her wedding, but because she decided to make fun of my child. My mother is on my side and fully supports my decision. My father is still stuck in the middle, and for that I think I should go low contact with him too. I'm going to keep in touch with you all, and keep the updates coming whenever I can. All I know is that, even if she gives my son the apology he deserves, I want nothing to do with her. I don't want her around my son. Someone asked if Jane has kids based on the comments on her son's cousins, and Opie says no, Jane doesn't have any children. They're my other siblings' kids, along with some of my cousins' kids. Opie on why she was going on low contact with her father. Opie says my father has always been partial towards my sister. I wouldn't mind if he disowned me because he wasn't that much of a dad to me anyways. Half a year after that update, Opie comes in with a new one and says, "Hi everyone. It's been a couple of months since I made my update post, so I figured I should update once more, if anyone is still interested. My sister Jane got married on December 4th, and it's been such a roller coaster. I did not go to the wedding, nor did I go to any after party or gathering they had. I'm not interested at all in any of their plans. From what I've heard, red wine was spilled on her dress, which in turn ruined the photos. Calm as a bitch. Anyway, I ended up taking Liam to the mall, and I just spent the entire day with him. I bought him some new Lego sets, clothes, and basically everything he wanted. My boy deserves to be spoiled. Before anyone asks, yes, he still has his bladder issues. However, yes, we managed to get him used to wearing pull-ups and other things to manage his accidents. A lot of people sent me messages regarding certain things to use, and honestly, it really helped a lot. I checked a few of them before I logged out of this account. It wasn't easy getting him used to the change, but Liam understood that it was for the best and learned to use them. He hasn't really complained about anything so far. Now, the big question is, what's going on with my sister? Like I said, she got married and all blah blah blah. According to her maid of honor, she was a real bridezilla. So glad I wasn't there. I feel bad for her fiance. He's a really nice guy. I'm still no contact with her or anyone in my family that supported her. My mother has been my rock. It hasn't been that hard to adjust actually. My father is being cut off as well. My father and I never got along, so it isn't a loss for me. I fully believe that he is the reason that my sister acts the way she does. My sister has tried to reach out to me a couple of times. Most of them were just her berating me for not going to the wedding, and others were half-assed apologies. I could honestly care less about what she says. I read Liam some of the comments, and guys, you made him the happiest little boy on earth. His birthday was actually 4 days ago, January 22nd. He's now 8 years old. We had a nice Lego theme party for him. He loves Legos. My mum and a few cousins were invited, along with his school friends. He had an accident during the party, but finally, no one was there to berate him for something he can't control. I'm also saying thank you for anything. If anything happens in the future, I'll be sure to update you guys, but for now, this seems to be it. Love you all, and thank you for the support. Top comments on that one says, kids that age already have so much to navigate. Adding a medical issue on top of that makes it even harder. He's lucky to have people who truly care about him and lift him up, not tear him down. Another commenter says, just a quick thought, and maybe someone else has already said this. If your son starts bemoaning having to wear pull-ups, maybe if he knew there was an industry devoted to grown-ups as well who have bladder issues, he'd feel less weird about it. Unless it's just the feeling of pull-ups he doesn't like, then never mind. Another commenter says, great to hear that Liam had a happy birthday, surrounded by people who actually care about him. Another commenter says, glad you got a happy little boy, OP. Sounds as if you made the right decision in limiting your association with people who don't enrich you or your child's life, irrespective of them being related or not. And the last commenter says, hi, I just wanted to add something for your boy that you might want to look into. A friend's daughter had issues with accidentally wetting herself until her teens. Turns out she was having a certain type of seizure. Does your son stare off into space when he wets himself? You may not have paid attention, but start to and see. Also think back on it. Either way, get him in with a doctor who can get the testing done. After that, my friend's daughter was given medication to control the seizures, and she stopped wetting herself. Again, one of my favorite things about Reddit is when the comments come in and talk about their own experiences and what they've seen. And, it might not help OP, but it might help someone out there, It's just that reminder that we've all got our own little lives, little things going on, etc., etc. It's what I find fascinating about these stories. But I still find it crazy that Jane's behavior, the thought process of talking about a child like that, a 7-year-old child, just no empathy at all. Not being able to recognize that he's embarrassed, he's probably anxious about what's going on. 7 years old. And you do this kind of shit towards him. What absolute scummy person. But I'm so glad that you've taken Liam away from that situation, and now we can just thrive without having to worry about people like Jane in his life. And he sounds like he's so much happier for it. So good on you, OP, for doing what's right for your son. I got absolutely no doubt that it's difficult. We talk about it time and time again, how things are normalized in families, and I take the piss with the but family stuff. But it is difficult, especially when you've got everyone else around you telling you that you're wrong for doing so, you're overreacting, etc. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. I'm reading this one mainly because I spotted cake in the title. And it's from Defo Not a Rich Bitch, who says, "Am I the arsehole for leaving a family gathering and taking the cake with me after getting my feelings hurt? I, 27 female, hit 1 year sober from alcohol at the beginning of the year. This was a huge accomplishment for me. It was bigger to me than finishing college. I told my family that next time we're together for family dinner, I had something to celebrate. This all happened at my mum's. The kids were playing and adults were hanging out. I took the moment to share that I'd reached 1 year sober and how good I felt about it. They went with, "Ooh, that's what you were talking about, and has it been a year already?" I'm embarrassed to admit, so I hope someone would say that they're proud of me. My brother-in-law Steve looked at my sister and they both said, well, at the same time she said, "Since we're all here, niece just got into a specific gymnastics thing. It's been a long road, but she did it." Steve popped some wine that they'd bought and they started giving everyone glasses and cups. He made eye contact with me and his face fell. I had this gnawing feeling, so got up from the table. I took a walk. I tried to get through the moment mentally so I could be present for my niece to celebrate her success. But when I got back to the house, my sister asked me why I left without saying anything. I said I needed a minute to myself. She looked at me funny and said, "Okay." I said I'd shared something I was very proud of and she bulldozed over it. My mum put her hand up and asked me what my news was. I said that I'd told them. I'd hit 1 year sober. Mum said my generation always wanted praise for doing the bare minimum. That wasn't an accomplishment. It was just what I needed to do, like graduating high school. I tried to make it through dinner but found myself just not in the mood anymore. I decided to go home. Here is the direct thing I am being called a butthead for. I brought a small berry chantilly cake, my favorite. Holy shit, I just had to Google that immediately. That looks absolutely amazing. Anyway, we continue. I brought a small berry chantilly cake, my favorite, to share after dinner. It was the thing I decided I earned. The kids had definitely seen it. On my way out, I decided to take it home with me. I guess when they realized the cake wasn't in the garage fridge anymore, my sister called me to ask why I took it. I said I did because it was my cake to celebrate my accomplishment. She said word for word, "Are you fucking serious? Oh my god, Emma, grow up. You're such a fucking baby." My mum later texted me directly to tell me how disappointed she was that I threw a tantrum because my niece got more attention than me. I don't think her read of what happened is right. But that's why I'm asking you guys. Am I the arsehole because I took home the cake in the end? Was that really childish of me, considering the kids saw it and then didn't get any? As I was putting on my shoes to leave, Steve found me and directly apologized and said that he was completely oblivious in the moment. I know he did not do anything to intentionally hurt me. The top commenter on this one said, "They had wine, which naturally excluded you, right after you told them your good news. I'm glad you took the cake." Opie says, "So at the bottom of the post I talk about my brother-in-law Steve, who is the one who opened the bottle. He apologized directly to me for it, and that's what the look he gave me was about, I think. He said that he was just on autopilot with my sister talking, and that when he saw me he was like, oh fuck, that was a stupid thing to do. I'm not mad at Steve, and I know he didn't do it on purpose to upset me or anything. Breath Music 14 says not the arsehole, and say, Mum, if you actually think that the reason I'm upset is because his niece had something to celebrate, then you're not only oblivious but also a huge arsehole. And if anyone is disappointed in me, it's me being disappointed in you. And if anyone is disappointed, it's me being disappointed in you. I'm super happy for niece, but all of the rest of you adults in the room were dismissive and really shitty. And I'm under no obligation to put up with your bullshit. At least Steve had the decency to apologize for being so oblivious and insensitive. You clearly have no excuse, nor are you excused. Loads of people in the comments were telling OP that they're proud of her for doing what she did, and it's a huge achievement, which it absolutely is. OP responded to a bunch of them saying, I'm really sorry if I didn't respond to anyone's questions. I'm reading your comments and people telling me they're proud of me is making me cry really bad. I thought everyone was going to tell me I'm a big fucking dumb loser because I took the cake. Hell no, you deserve that cake. They didn't deserve no cake. OP edits the post with a follow-up and says, hi everyone, I just wanted to follow up and say thank you to everyone for the responses. I have a lot to think about when I next go to therapy. Today actually, and work on. I do want to clear up a few things that I've seen come up a lot in the comments. I'm not in AA. I've tried AA before and it was not compatible for me. It works for a lot of people very well, and I'm happy for you, it works for you. So stuff about the steps and personal inventory are not relevant to me. It wasn't a party for my niece. It was just a family dinner. The cake was mine and wasn't bought for my niece. I didn't take it because I wanted to get back at them. I took it because it was my favorite cake and I wanted to eat it because it was my thing that I earned. I don't know why they opened the wine for my niece getting into the gymnastic program, but I also didn't think it's my place to say anyone else has a drinking problem, and I'd prefer to have my eyes on my own paper. I wouldn't have blamed you if you took that cake to get back at them. Cake is cake. There's no way I'd be leaving cake for anyone who's just pissed me off. But seriously, well done to you, OP. It is a huge achievement and you should be incredibly proud of yourself for doing what you're doing. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.